Oi, grade 11's Mr. MNISI'S here, and I know that you all probably clicked on my video because your teacher has assigned you with phase 2 of your CAT PET. Yes, computer applications technology PET, and you've probably realized that your phase 2 is very different from the phase 2 that you had last year in grade 10. Now it requires you to do a bit more work, a bit more research, to go out there. They told you to create something called a questionnaire. In today's video, we'll just be looking at some of the basic softwares that we can use to create our questionnaire for the very first time, and how we can send that questionnaire to different people, how these different softwares work, what can we get from these softwares, how to set questions within these different softwares, and etc. But as usual, before we start anything, we need to start by understanding what is your questionnaire, right? That's the first thing that we need to really understand. What is a questionnaire? We need to understand what our PET also requires from us. As I said, phase 2, you are acquired to collect information that will help you in conducting your research, right? You need to go around, look for people, try and interview these people. But since we live in a digital age, we no longer go out and do physical interviews. We would much well prefer to interview people anonymously through some things called surveys and questionnaires. So what is a questionnaire? Well, according to your textbooks or other books that you guys might be using, a questionnaire is a research tool that is made from a list of questions. We use questionnaires to gather information, opinions, and feedback from different groups of people. I'm sure you guys have seen sometimes when you're on Facebook or TikTok or even YouTube, and you're scrolling on a video, and then it stops for a while and says, hey, was this video useful? Mind rating this video 1 to 10? Are you most likely to watch this video again? Was this video interesting to you? Right? All of those are different forms of questionnaire. We use these questionnaires to gather information about people, and we can take those questionnaires, take that information, and then analyze it even further, because that's the point of computer applications technology. If you were there in grade 10, and I hope that you guys learned about the information processing cycle, and that is the main point of CAT. We are there as people who do CAT to digitalize information, to take data and turn it into usable information. So, as I was saying, how do we go about gathering these questionnaires? And since a questionnaire is just a list of questions, a research tool made out of a list of questions, we know that questionnaires can either be physical or they can be digital. And since we're doing CAT, our questionnaires are going to be digital. We're doing this electronically, baby. That's how we're doing it. So, you're probably asking yourself, Mr. MNISI'S, what platforms am I going to use to gather information from people? What platforms am I going to use to conduct this research, these forms, these questionnaires? Well, I'm here to save you. First, we have two options. We have JotForm and we have Google Forms. These are very popular questionnaire creation websites. Both of these websites allow us to create questionnaire, collect data, and also turn that data into a spreadsheet, which will be useful for the second part of your phase 2. And it assists us in analyzing and organizing that information even better. You have JotForm, as I said, and you have Google Forms. And the next part of the video, we are going to be looking at how JotForm and how Google Forms work from a very basic level. Okay, grade 11s, we have moved on to our Google Forms here. Just go to your browser of choice, type Google Forms, log in with your email address, and it will take you to this page. This is the Google Forms page. As you can see, I have worked on a lot of different forms, right? A lot of different forms, a test that I'm working on for my learners. But what you'd want to do is, first you're going to go on your Google Forms. There's a lot of different features that you can go through here if you want to be playing around. These are all the management features. All of your recent forms will be found here. You can sort your research by not your research but your forms by whether it was created by you or you are one of the people who filled it out. You can sort it rather alphabetically or by date modified, meaning the last time you worked on it, and you can decide to store it however you want. Every single one of these forms are stored within your Google Drive, so they're attached to your email, right? And that ensures that it's constantly in cloud storage. You will never be able to lose it, and you are just golden. So whenever we're making a form, right, there's different test templates that we can use here. But since we are working on a type of a survey that we're going to be giving people, you're just going to go and open a blank form. As I said, this is not going to be a tutorial on how to use Google Forms. This is just going to be a breakdown of how the website looks. If you're looking for a tutorial on how to use Google Forms and how to create your questionnaire using Google Forms, I will be creating another video about that in a few days. But if you do not have a few days, you can just go look up Mr. Long's video on how to create it. This is just a part 1 of this video, and in a couple of days part 2 will be coming out, where it's breaking down the ins and outs of applying Google Forms into your pet phase 2. So as you guys can see here, right, you open a new form. Your form is untitled, it has no name. So you have your form header over here, which is the name of your form. You have a description where you tell people what your form is about. Then you have a compulsory field, which is your email address. Since Google Forms are always tied to your Gmail account, they will always require you to put in your email address. That is just a way for Google to keep track on who's using the forms, who are the people responding, and etc. So as we go through the dashboard, you can see that here we have where our questions start. And whenever I click on the question, you can see that here on the side, we have our toolbar. Our toolbar, we use it to either add questions and tell it what kind of questions it is, edit the questions, make them look nice, and etc. Here on top, we have our ribbon. Our ribbon divides us into 3 different windows that we can use when you're doing our Google Forms, right? You have your response window, you have your settings window. Your settings window is the one where you set the defaults. It helps you set how long the form is going to be live. It helps you set if it's going to be a quiz or not. It even helps you when trying to upload feedback and give feedback to people. If you want to have some practice on mock tests with your friends when you're studying, you can use some of the features here to make yourself some multiple choice questions, whatever, send them to your friends, study together, and study all in a fun way, right? Can also be used for games and etc. Then when you go up to the top part of the ribbon here, we have different features. We have our publish feature. Our publish feature means that it is going to go live. So whenever you want to send this to someone, you say publish, and once you click publish, it'll tell you, hey, respondents, everyone with a link. Then you then copy your link and send it to people. People will then be able to complete your form online, right? You have the share. The share then allows you to take the document. That's where you get your link for your document, right? you have your link for responder. So you share, you get the link for your document, but it's not a link for people responding. It's a link for people working on helping you with the document. So let's say you want to get somebody else to add questions to your document. This is what you'd use. You'd copy the link here, send it to your friend then adds what they think is necessary to your document. Then whenever you want to send a link to the responder, there is copy responder link. This will give you a link to a specific person that you can send it to, and that person could fill out the form, right? Then from here, you have the undo, the redo, the preview. The preview allows you to see what your document is going to look like from the person filling it in. As you can see, I clicked on the preview, and since we didn't add anything, we can see what the form looks like from the viewer's perspective. Then we have the theme here, customer's theme. This is where you can like change your colors, make it look pretty, etc. All of this nonsense. Then we have the add-ons. The add-ons, those are all of the fancy things that you might want to add. Maybe you want to add a timer, maybe you want to add pictures, and etc. Right? So you're probably asking yourself, how do I go about adding questions on Google Forms? So as we said, this is the question bar. The question bar gives you different forms of questions. Whenever you want to add a question, there is this icon right here, this plus sign right here. It allows you to add a question. So let's say the first question is an untitled question. Let's say you want to ask someone their name. So you might say something along the lines of, what is your name? Right? Don't forget, always use good word processing techniques. What is your name? Right? And since this is a question that requires a response, it's not just a question where people will be choosing different things. You can go here on the side on the toolbar and you click on this drop down menu. And when you click on the drop-down menu, now you have a lot of options to choose from, right? You have a short answer, a paragraph, a multiple choice, a checkbox, a drop-down. You can upload a file, right? A linear scale, a rating, tick box, date, time, etc. We will be going through each and every one of these in the next video that I'll be posting, where we will be using almost every one of these to build a questionnaire for our grade 11 pet. Right now, as I said, this is just an overview of what softwares you can use. So in this case, we said, hey, what is your name? Then we are going to use short text for what is your name. Then the recipient will then be told to add their name, right? Then you can go to the plus sign. This is question number 2. Maybe you want this to be multiple choice, and you add whatever question you then want to add, right? When you're done with all of that, you can then add in the title of your form, right? In this case, the title of my form is example 1. That's the title of my form. This is the very first example that we want to be dealing with. So now the form is called example 1. You can then decide to bold it. You can then decide to I give it in italics, make the themes all nice and etc. But we will be going through that in the next video. So now let's then look at the competitor Jot form. So we looked at Google Forms, and maybe now you probably think that, hey, Google Forms is not my cup of tea. I am looking for something more expressive, something more artistic, right? Another platform that I would advise my learners to use specifically is Jotform. Jotform is an AI-powered website. It has a lot of features in it, but it can be confusing and overwhelming for some people, but it is relatively easy to use, right? The base features are very free, basically free to use, but if you want to use all of the advanced features, you'll then have to pay something. But if you pay early, then you might get 50% off, but you're not going to need to pay anything for this one. We're just going to create a free jot form that we can attach to our email and then send it to other people. So when you're here, you're in the sign in page for Jotform, right? You sign in with your email address and your little email icon will pop up at the top right corner of your computer. Then what we're then going to do is that we are going to click on this create button on our dashboard. We just create a new form, start loading. Then from here, as you can see, Jotform gives you way more options than Google Form, right? You can create website widgets, you can create e-signings, apps, etc. But now we're just looking for a basic form. So hey, I'd like to create a form. Then here, since we want to do and make the form ourselves, we can just click start from scratch. We would like to create a classic form, and it's gonna take a bit to load. It's still loading. Drag logo, you don't need any of that. So as you can see, Jotform is very, very different from Google Forms, right? It's very different, but the fundamentals are basically the same, right? As you can see here, we have our little podo. We have our little podo, which is our nice little kitty cat that we can use and ask questions to help us edit our Jotform, make it look nice. And our little AI kitty, can put her away. Then from here, just like Google Forms, you are going to have your dashboard on top that takes you to 3 different windows. In this case, you have your build. Build means this is where we're gonna be building our form, right? You have your settings. Settings are going to be all of the settings that you have to do with your form. Do you want to send it via email? What's the title? All of those beautiful settings. We will go deeper on it in another video, another separate video. As I said, I'm gonna make a video about using Google Forms to create your questionnaire, and we're also gonna use Jotform to create the questionnaire. So we're on Jotform now. We have elements that we can add. Remember, just like Google, these elements are things like phone numbers. Let's say we want to add product lists. All of these fancy things that we can add to them. A lot of them are useless, right? But hey, if you want to be fancy and you want to do something with your friends, you can add some good things here, right? Then you have the top part of your form. This is always your form header. It doesn't matter what you use. So in this case, this is going to be example 2, right? This will be our example 2. Bad. Sorry about that. This will be our example 2, right? So now let's continue going to Jotform. Okay, so Jotform has different features to it of different pages you can add, right? So unlike Google Forms, it just gives you different things just listed. With Jotform, you do have to do a bit more pressing and etc. It does have a lot of ads, but we can add a new page to our form. This new page, we can then call it whatever we want. We can then add elements to it. For example, input table. Want to add input table? You can add an input table. Then here, this will be like, hey, rate this video. This could be an input table to ask people to rate the video, right? Then here will give us maybe quality or whatever you want to put in quality. Then this will be the criteria that people use. Hopefully, if you're watching this video, you will be very, very satisfied with the video, the service quality, and etc. Right? So you can use these elements, just use some of the elements that you are going to need to then create, let's close you, to then create whatever form you're going to need, right? So let's say you have this rating page that gives us columns, but what if you want to add another page? So we can go to add page, and maybe you want this to be multiple choice. So you just scroll through your elements, go to multiple choice, drag multiple choice, and somewhere, boom, put it there. Now you have your multiple choice column, right? Your multiple choice column, you then say, hey, pick an answer. Then you put all of the answers that you want people to pick. As I said, we will be going deeper into JotForm and deeper into the different features that we can use for our questionnaire that we're going to be sending to people. But JotForm and Google Forms are the two main softwares that I like my learners to use. Google Forms, very, very professional, very straightforward. JotForm allows you to be a bit more artistic, a bit more expressive. You guys just go around, play around with JotForm, play around with some of the AI features that are there, play around with Copilot, play around with everything, and just see where it takes you. Right? You guys are young, explore a little. And that is it, grade 11s. You have two main options that I recommend. There are a lot of other form building websites out there. I just prefer these two. They're cheap, they're easy to use, very, very fun to use. Remember, Google Forms, very professional, very straightforward. JotForm allows a bit more creativity to it, right? You can do a lot of things with them. Please stay tuned for the next video. It'll be a step-by-step guide on how to create and formulate the questions that are going to be needed for your questionnaire for this year's PET. I'll be guiding you step by step what I would do, what type of questions would I be looking at. But for now, just play around with these two programs, see which one you like more, and then make your choice. In a few days, I think on Thursday, from writing this, I will be posting a video about what has been discussed. And with that said, grade 11s, with that said, I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are doing well. Go out there, conquer the world, and always remember, go beyond. Plus ultra style. That's right. See ya. Aku dah merupakan